Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hello, my name is Mike, and today's show is brought to you by our Amazon page. Please remember to shop at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. It's quite simply the best way to support this show. If you need it, Amazon has it, and you can get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Bookmark it, please.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Every now and then something comes across my desk that I find absolutely riveting. And with the fact that Mrs. O'Mara has me on 1,600 calories per day, and I am like the worst 8-year-old you would ever have to deal with. I am like a child. I'm terrible to her about it. I will just say things, I just want to eat some food. It's just, I was that way. I've been that way for 2 days.
Do they fall out even calories per meal?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but it's really, when I look back on the way I ate for a very long time, this is really quite a modification for me. And I know it's good, and I know it's what I should be doing, but it really sucks. And so I am hyper aware now of previous lusts for food in my life. And so this website came out called eatthis.com, and it ranked the most unhealthy things you can order.
Dirty website?
No, it's not. Thank you, though. It ranked the most unhealthy things you can order at a mall food court.
Oh,
now,
nice.
Okay.
We all know that the mall food court is usually a settle, is it not? It's usually a settle.
Well, it's never a destination.
It's never. Well, maybe I've seen people in there that may have worked with this program that might have made it a destination.
I can think of one thing in a mall food court that would be a destination, but I won't reveal it because I have a hunch it might be number one on your list.
All right. Well, the mall food court usually has quite a bit of sameness, but there are the top 7 worst and unhealthy things that you can order at a mall food court, and I think most of them come from the massive change.
Right.
So I think we're good with that. Do you want me to go from the
7 to 1?
It doesn't.
Please.
It's not ranked. This has worst snack, worst pizza, worst Chinese, worst frozen, worst burger, worst sandwich, worst overall.
Okay.
So it's
So they only have one that's the all-time match.
Please end with worst overall.
All right, the worst snack. And this would surprise me because I think somehow I never really put this in the total horrible for you category. Auntie Anne's pepperoni pretzel with hot salsa cheese dip.
I've had that. I probably had that within the last calendar year.
You know what's so great about that is when they
probably
say
has an Auntie Anne's.
Yeah, when they say that get away from chips, stick to pretzels. Pretzels are better because they're not fried.
Pretzels, right? Pretzels, eat pretzels. They're bad. Who was the jerk off that came up with that idea? I mean, really, go ahead and eat
Johnny
a pretzel. That'll be Johnny. Yeah, the pretzel
King.
The pretzel king did that.
Mike, you know who paid for that message? Big Pretzel.
Big Pretzel. No, it's Wolf. It's Wolf that paid for it.
Oh yeah, of course.
He said, "Yeah. Oh, listen to how you calm down about Wolf. What is? Ooh.
Yeah,
you just said.
story?
What is that? You really just kind of had a visceral reaction to that man. He's a nice man.
Wish him all the best.
Okay.
Rob doesn't like anybody.
It's a pretzel with pepperoni on it,
Barely.
and it's 570 calories.
Yeah.
No, he really doesn't like you, Oscar.
No,
He's
I believe
just
it.
lying.
I believe it.
Number 2, worst pizza. And now this, to me, this would make sense that you're going to get. Oh, the calories, 570 calories for Auntie Anne's pepperoni pretzel with hot salsa
That's
cheese.
not bad.
I mean, on the large scale of crap on this list, it's not. No. Here is the worst pizza, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go with the worst pizza. Sbarro stuffed sausage and pepperoni. Yeah.
Sbarro.
Thank you.
Sbarro.
Would anyone like to guess the calories on this bad boy?
I would say higher. Let's do like on Card Sharks. I'll say it's higher than the pretzel.
I have a question, too. It doesn't say. Oh, it's per slice. This is a slice.
Okay, slice.
Yeah, it is.
350 calories.
Oh, no. I'd say 890.
Oscar, you should have gone with your original guess. It is 810
Whoa.
calories per
slice.
slice.
Of pizza?
Per slice.
Man.
I can't believe those numbers.
You do what?
Because I really like pizza.
If you eat 3 slices of that pizza, it's a lot more. Anyway, moving right along.
Nearly triple, Mike.
Thank you for that.
Worst Chinese food. A store because of a Rob Spiewak story that I
what it
never
is.
go by without saying this now. And I will ask Rob for the story.
All right.
This is the worst Chinese food. Panda Express orange chicken with fried rice.
Yep.
It has 900 calories and 34 grams of fat.
Wow. So when I was at King's Dominion some years ago, we were getting off the ride that is it's essentially the pirate ship ride that goes
Yeah.
back and forth and eventually goes over.
The boat.
Pirate ship ride.
Pirate ship
I like
ride.
it. That's how they describe it at King's Dominion too. Pirate ship ride.
It's not what it's named, but it's how it's described.
Right, of
And
course.
there was 3 larger young women getting off, and they said, "Well, what now?" And one of them said, "Panda Express, bitches."
Nobody, Rob, I say that so often.
All the
I
time.
say that now that if it's not my immediate family, if it's not Carla or one of my daughters, I have to explain it all over again.
Yeah.
And it's so embarrassing. So, it's like, why did you say that? Oh, God.
Well,
Don't make me
Panda
do that
Express
again.
is still right on International Street on the right when you go into King's Dominion, and every time I go, I have to post a picture of it.
And it's in
Because-
Manassas. It's in Manassas when you're coming out of the Costco. It's right
yeah,
there on
it
the
is.
Yeah,
right.
and it is really
Waiting
great
for
if
you.
you love genuine Chinese cuisine. It's a great,
That orange
reliable
chicken,
destination.
those samples.
All right, here's
Let me
the
tell
worst.
you, that's what
Here's
they
the
get you.
worst frozen treat.
Yes.
A brownie cookie dough blizzard from Dairy Queen.
Oh yeah.
I've never had one of those.
Are
they
Well,
good?
now see that's discrimination right there. Are they good? Like I've had one. Like I've never had one.
Don't you see
I've never
what he
had one.
does?
If I'm gonna have a blizzard, Oscar, it's a Heath bar.
Don't you see what he does? It's
a Heath
well,
Bar
I've
Blizzard.
never had one, but I work with 2 extraordinarily obese gentlemen, so let me defer to them.
It's a Heath bar, 1,150 calories.
And also, if it's got raw dough in it, it's going to give you worms.
Now, this is another one that's going to probably bug you, Rob, because this is one of your favorite places.
What's that?
The worst burger is the Five Guys Bacon Cheeseburger at 920 calories.
Whoa.
Wow. You know what? The thing
That's
is,
your
Mike,
go-to, Rob.
life is about choices. So what you do is
Yes.
if you're going to have the bacon cheeseburger at Five
Yes.
Guys, go light on the ketchup.
There you go. Health advice
But
from
that
the
is-
Spiewak Laboratory.
That's a heartbreaker. That's enough
All right,
food for 5 guys.
hugely popular chain. What do you think? Who do you think has the worst sandwich? This is a hugely popular chain. And
Subway?
it's not one of the big burger chains. This is a sandwich chain
Is
where
it,
you would get a
is it
sandwich.
Subway?
Subway.
It is not Subway.
Is it Quiznos?
It is not Quiznos.
Blimpie.
It is Panera's.
Whoa.
Oh, I hate Panera.
Oh, I know.
Panera's steak and white cheddar panini coming in at 1,050
That's a
yum yum.
Mike, what that is essentially is a fried steak sandwich.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, I hold in my hand the worst overall.
And I'm gonna lock my answer in so Oscar can see if I'm right.
All
Okay?
right, I have to give you a hint before you lock it in. Let me just give you a hint. This is not regular food. This is a treat.
Okay,
This is
I
a
stand
treat.
by my answer.
Treat.
I stand by
Very
my
good.
answer.
Treat
All right.
time.
If anybody wants to guess, now is your opportunity. This is
That
the
would have
worst
been my
overall.
answer, so we're on the same page.
Okay, so on the
Yeah,
count of
go
3,
ahead,
we'll
guys.
reveal
Yes.
it. 1,
Lay it on
2, 3.
Cinnabon.
Cinnabon.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
these men know their food.
Nah.
The caramel pecan bon at Cinnabon at 1,080 calories with 51 grams of fat,
they're so
and
good.
almost half of that is saturated fat.
Yeah.
So there it is.
And
That is
Saul
the
Goodman
list.
works at a Cinnabon. Yes, so ask for him by name.
Delicious. And so all I have to say to that list is, Carla, we're going to Bangor, Maine today.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world, Star Wars, the 20th anniversary home video.
Jack Lemmon, Chewbacca screen test.
Take one.
Okay, excuse me. Before we put the spaghetti in the machine, can someone tell me what the hell one of these Chewbacca things is?
Well, he's a Wookiee, Jack.
A what? What the hell is a Wookiee?
It's like a space ape.
Oh, that's terrific. You had me drive all the way from Beverly Hills to play a space ape?
Just put the mask on.
I'm gonna take a dump in this damn mask.
Jack,
That's what I'm
can you
gonna
please
do.
put it on?
Why can't I audition for Obi-Wan? You got math house screen testing. I'd be a terrific
Could you
Obi-Wan.
please put the mask on?
Ah, yourself.
Walter Matthau, Obi-Wan Kenobi screen test. All right, Walter, here we go. I never heard of them hitting anything this big before.
They didn't, but we are meant to think they did. These tracks are side by side. Sand people always ride single file to hide their numbers.
These are the same Jawas that sold us R2 and 3PO.
Jawas? What the hell is this picture about anyway?
Well, Walter, it's a space adventure about a magical force and all the people and creatures who inhabit the galaxy. Walter?
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his office chair, here's Mike.
We are coming to you live from the Cappy Pfeiffer studio in the heart of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, whoa. We are on the air and online worldwide. The Mike O'Mara Show is a daily radio show and podcast with the greatest listeners on the planet because they get it, and if you're here, you do too. Our show today is brought to you by HomeLight.
Yes.
We were talking about it yesterday. We'll tell you again today that HomeLight is a wonderful resource for our listeners if you are buying and selling your home. You have to do it armed with the best realtor to help you do that. That's why you need HomeLight. HomeLight is the best new way to find your perfect real estate agent. HomeLight's technology analyzes home sales data and client previews to find the best agent for you based on actual past performance, whether buying or selling. You need HomeLight. HomeLight was founded by Stanford grads. That means they're smart.
Hey, Mike, I'm smart. I'm smart.
They're smart.
I'm smart.
And it's backed by Google. HomeLight agents are all top 5 producers and are proven to sell faster and for up to a 9% higher selling price. That's all you need to know. HomeLight has already helped thousands of folks in the D.C. area and all over the U.S. buying and selling their homes. Best of all, HomeLight is absolutely free for our listeners, and you get a $200 gift card when you buy or sell with a HomeLight agent. Visit HomeLight.com today. That's HomeLight.com. Click on the microphone in the right-hand corner and enter the code TMOS to contact your perfect agent through the HomeLight website, or call 844-321-AGENT and tell them that Mike sent you. HomeLight.com, the best way to find a real estate agent. And it's not necessarily when you write Rob Spiewak copy, it's not through the HomeLight website, it's the HomeLight. That is, do you know that's one of your consistent, did you do that in school by any chance? Not put the R in through when you would be doing that? I'm just kind of curious about your process.
What I did, Mike, is the R, that stands for real estate, and we leave that to HomeLight.
Way to go, smartass. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. Before we do anything else, it is time for me to do what I never said I would do. My very first personal greeting to my daughter, who is 20 years old today, is through this show, not a personal phone call. I will call her later on today, but I greeted her impersonally on Facebook today.
Saw that.
In the wee hours of the morning when I was up early with insomnia. And then, this will be, hopefully she'll answer. I mean, it's 10:15. I don't know. It's in the waitress game, so she might have been up till 1 o'clock
the waitress
in the morning.
game, eh?
All right, hold on. We'll see what happens.
Is she still in NYC?
What's that?
She's still in New
she's
York?
still in New York. Still in New York. Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's at an audition.
Maybe she sees the problem with this. She
call
sees
has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
I can text her and say, answer your phone.
Try that,
Yeah.
and then we'll
Okay.
try one more time. And this is your father's radio show.
Hi, sweetheart.
See,
Don't
hey,
say
hey,
that.
hey,
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I apologize.
hey.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
My bad.
Now,
Mr.
when
Man.
before we started the show, you said, Rob, do you have Catherine's phone number? And I think I do. But before I even got to it, Oscar says, I have it. I have it.
he did. He
I
has
have
both
both
of their
your
phone
daughter's
numbers.
phone numbers and your wife's.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
He's someday going to just do me in. I think it's going to happen that way. I mean, he already has this relationship with people that hate me online, and
No.
it's just this sweetness that he has
it's
because it doesn't
Oscar.
bother him. It's
We are
yes.
calling from the show. Are you up?
All right, let's try answer. Is this? I like your Broadway music. Catherine is on a Broadway stage, and we. All right, can we call the number one more time?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
see.
One
what's
more
I
happening.
will
time.
answer your phone.
Calling New York City right now. or a suburb
so
of New
great.
York. And we're going to speak to my daughter.
If a guy answers, I'm going to S myself.
Rob is such a queen.
Oh, I do not watch the Tonys.
Do you know who came into her restaurant? You'll like this, Rob. They had the Tony party for this play was at Catherine's restaurant. The cast of The King and I, including a Tony winner, came in.
So did they bring the award with them?
They brought the award. Catherine got a chance to touch the Tony.
Oh, that is so cool.
Your call has been forwarded to
Oh,
an
Catherine,
automatic voice
God!
message.
No, I'm not going to yell. It's her birthday.
Yeah,
It's her birthday.
we can leave her a message.
Let's leave her a message.
Okay, let's call
do
that.
that.
Come on.
All right, very good. Let's do
You want
that.
the music from the top?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, very good.
I just like that intro.
I do too.
And every Broadway play, it
Call has
doesn't
been
matter what
forwarded
the
to an automatic voice
Okay,
message
here we go.
system. 70.
Oh, you probably want to turn that down.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you very
Mike,
much.
we'll play that song again when we do Hamlish October.
I think we're good now.
At the tone,
Thank you.
please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Oh, here we go.
Did it beep?
Yeah, you're good.
Happy birthday, Broadway bound. This is your father, along with Oscar and Rob and Pony Boy and Rofo and a brand new intern who we haven't met yet. We're not going to do that until we meet her. And I want to say happy birthday, happy 20th. You are my firstborn. You are the love of my life. There's a little music for you. Absolutely, Catherine.
Okay, wait.
Very.
She just texted, okay, I'm up.
All right, let's call her back. God. Jesus. Wow.
Well,
Oh,
Mike,
God.
you know what? It's a day that can be all about her.
It has to be all. I'm not going to get mad. She's
It's
I'm
her
calling her on the
birthday.
show. It's a birthday.
It's
No
her
problem.
birthday. All kids
So, let's
want
call
toys.
Sleepy Catherine right now.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Catherine. Happy birthday to
my God.
you.
And you can forget the rest. Da da da
That's
da
right.
da da.
Hey, Rob even played special Broadway music for you. Listen to this. You like this? We're playing this right down the line. Do you know this play? This is good. All people interested in Broadway should know this. Do you know what this is from, Catherine dear?
I can't know.
We just woke her up, and I'm like giving her a quiz, right? This is from a chorus line.
Of course, she knows it.
Of course. Happy birthday, sweet girl. How are you?
Great. It's
And,
hard to
any-
hear a little bit, so that's why I can't
Oh, I'm sorry.
hear it, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
it's because
sorry.
we're
Probably my
Skyping.
signal.
So are you? Did you work last night?
Yeah, I just woke up. Yeah, I got home at like 3:15. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
It's
sorry. Well,
fine.
who better to screw up your birthday?
7
by
hours of sleep is not bad.
No, 7 hours is not bad. Not bad at all.
no,
And
it's not bad at all. Yeah, I'm fine.
I was telling. I was telling Rob that you were in your restaurant where you're working. The cast of The King and I came in the other night, right?
Yes, it was amazing. They were
Okay,
great.
all right. You're still asleep, but I want to say happy.
No,
20
no, they were amazing. Oh my, it was amazing. And they all came in around like 7 p.m. All the producers and cast and crew and orchestra, and then obviously everyone who was at the Tonys was at the Tonys, and they came in around midnight, I guess, or like 11:30. And everyone was crying, and I don't know, it was amazing because you normally you watch those shows and you're excited for the things that you want to win, but having that energy and having an actual show in all around you, when they win, best survival of a musical and best actress, it was amazing.
And you
Oh,
got to
that's so
actually
cool.
That's cool.
you got to actually hold the Tony Award.
No,
Oh.
I got to look at it from a very up close point of view.
Well, someday you'll be holding your own, so that's no
Oh,
big
that's
deal.
That's
sweet.
right. Well, you know what? I love you. We are looking forward, as I said, I wrote on Facebook this morning, to a big celebration when you get up here in a couple of weeks to Maine, and we are very, very excited to see you and to see your sister. But how does it feel to be 20?
It doesn't feel any different. The only thought I had was, a year till 21. Yay.
That's what I had when I was that age, too. A year, it's one of those birthdays,
That's awesome.
a year till 20. Well, I love you. Go back to sleep, and happy birthday, my firstborn. I love you very much.
Thank you. Love you too. Thank you, guys.
Happy
Yeah, happy
birthday,
birthday.
Catherine.
Bye.
Bye.
That's my
Bye.
daughter. That's my daughter, Catherine, everybody. Well, that's good. I feel now that I'm. You know what I feel like I just did? I multitasked.
Nice.
Sure.
That's
done
exactly
and done.
what I did. Yeah,
Family,
done and done.
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. So the bottom line with New York, with Catherine, the way I understand it, is the Great New York Experiment. They're giving her hostess shifts and not waitress shifts, and
So no
you know,
tips.
she's experiencing a couple of things. It's extremely difficult to make ends meet in New York. Unless you are at the very least getting some decent waitress shifts. And so she's probably going to be making her way back to the University of Mary Washington, where she's going to get a full-time job, and that's what she's going to do during the school year as well. And the bad news for her is that she didn't get the full-time gig in New York that she wanted, but the good news is that she's coming up to see me.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's
selfish
excellent.
about that.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
Excellent.
And you know what? She got a chance to experience it a little bit, and she just wants to, make some bucks. That was the whole reason that she was going up there. And if she's going to get the same kind of buckage that she could get anywhere else, she can't really do that. So that's that. That's,
now, when she
that's
goes
her.
back to Fredericksburg, will she be staying in the theater district?
the
historic
fabulous
Fredericksburg Theater District.
No, she will be staying in her little apartment that I got the grand tour of that is very close to campus. And
Good.
I wish that I had had a place like that for that money when I was a student, because it's really, really, really neat.
Especially
It's
off
very, very
campus, right? It's perfect.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely
Is
beautiful.
she a little bummed that it didn't work out? Does she understand it?
Yeah,
Where's
absolutely.
Where's her headspace?
She is probably a little bummed at a few things. She applied for theatrical internships, which was in casting departments, which are extremely rare and hard to get. And so as a sophomore, they usually give them out to the upperclassmen. So she didn't get those. So that was the start of things. And then when she got up there, people say, oh, yeah, come right in. Come in. Here's a job. Well, everybody wanted hostesses. And nobody, all the waitress shifts are the cherry gigs, and that's where you make tips, and that's how you make money if you're going to be doing that in New York City.
Yeah.
And when she didn't get that, she was sitting there spinning her wheels, and she doesn't have the time this summer to wait for that. She can't be trained for a month and then get the waitress shifts. She needs to hit the ground running. So I totally understand where she's coming from. She's coming back, and she wants to do a gig close to campus where she can work at the same place year-round, and she wants to get cracking on that.
Still
but she
young.
works her,
she
works
enjoys
her
some
ass
time
off.
with her father, coming up to Maine,
And you know what?
hanging
Good
out.
experience, too. You know what? She
Yeah.
will eventually be an upperclassman, and then
She
she'll
works her ass off.
have a
And,
chance at those internships.
I really, really, I'm proud of her and what she's trying to do, and I encourage it. And just a father cannot be all that bummed out getting her out of that rat trap. To be honest with you, I mean, when she was talking about walking through Grand Central at 3:00 in the morning or 2:00 in the morning, that freaks me out. That wigs me out just a little bit, especially when there was some news story as I was putting my news together today about a dog walker, which she was going to be a dog walker up there,
Right?
And this guy. It's in news you may not need. I'll share it.
All right,
with you
hold
then.
on.
I don't want to ruin it for everybody.
Okay,
it's actually
hold
my
on to
kicker
it.
today, so I don't want to do that. Without further ado, we have a brand new intern that is joining us today. First of all, nobody keeps me plugged in the pipeline about anything.
Yeah.
You guys said you had interviews, and then poof, I come in here and there is a fresh-faced young lady sitting in our studio, and you say, "Oh." And then here's the tone. Oh, Mike, this is the new intern. It's like I knew that because so many of you. Excuse me, dear. Can you block your ears for just a second?
Earmuffs.
Yeah, please.
She's
earmuffs.
wearing them.
Because so many of you fuckers didn't tell me that we had hired a new intern.
Mike,
Could you
it was
maybe a text, Rob, you were tasked with getting us the brand new intern.
Right.
Your inability outside of that microphone's in front of your face to promote yourself in any way, it would be really, really good if you had maybe shared with me that you accomplished the task that I gave to you like 3 months ago. But nobody said a word to me about this.
I could say that we wanted to surprise you.
Yeah.
But what happened is she came in and gave us an incredible interview. And we said we would love to have you in next week to sit in. And we did not know that she was eager to accept, and she actually accepted.
Yeah.
So it happened rather quickly.
Mike, plus you don't even bother with these details. I mean, you got a life
do.
to live.
You know what, Oscar? I really like.
You really
details.
do?
Okay.
I do. I like details. I mean, details can be fun sometimes. This is a fun one. This is a fun one. I don't like details.
What about
when
the
it's,
other 3 people we've interviewed? Do you want to talk to them?
No, I don't want to do the interview. I didn't say that I wanted to do the interview. I want to know when the interview is successful.
Okay.
That's what I want to
That's
know.
fair.
You know what I mean?
understand.
That's the kind
That's
of plugged in that I want to be.
Oh, I thought you wanted to be on the interview.
You know, it's a beautiful day. My daughter celebrated her 20th. We're going to meet our new intern, and you guys are trying to ruin it for me. Anyway, we'll take a break, and we'll come back and meet this young lady. It'll probably be her last day after all this infighting that she witnessed.
Oh,
We'll
it's
be
the
right back
language, really.
on the Mike O'Mara Show. Hey, can't help that. That's me. Can't deal with that. Can't deal with the show. We'll be right back.
It's Rob and Katie.
I even put the conditioner part on for 2 minutes, washed it right out.
Did it smell?
Oh, yeah, my hair still kind of stinks.
That's like the worst smell. It used to be when you go to a department store and they'd have like a hair place in the back of the department store. You get close to
and
it,
as you got closer,
and it's like, oh.
that weird smell.
Yeah, horrible.
But that was also the smell of perm.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, listen very carefully. What she said was perm.
Perm.
P-E-R-M.
Smells like perm in here.
I got perm all over everything.
You got perm everywhere.
Oh, ladies don't like that.
Oh, Jesus.
They come
Nope,
home
you
and
don't.
you've got perm on their dress. Good luck
Okay.
explaining that to their husband.
Oh, my God.
True story.
You guys have to stop drinking.
That's what it is.
And cookies. It's the Rob and
so
Katie
nasty.
Show.
They're so hammered.
That is
They're
so-
so hammered on that show.
That is just too
Sounds like
much
fun, though.
drinking and sexual tension and all that. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Hey, listen up, small business owners. You're going to want to hear this one right now at Vistaprint.com. You can get 500 business cards for just $9.99 when you enter promo code TMOS at checkout. That's $9.99 for 500 business cards. This is the best deal out there, and it is so easy to make great-looking cards. Everywhere I go, I'm handing them out all the time. We've all made our cards on Vistaprint. It's fantastic. Pick from tons of industry-specific designs and your info, and you're done. Or you can upload your own artwork and pictures. We've all made the cards. We love it. I hand them out everywhere. If you want to go all out, upgrade to their signature stock, add a fancy finish, or even raise print. Vistaprint also has everything from marketing materials for marketing materials. Now, you always say, not to scrutinize your copy again
Right.
today, Vistaprint also has everything from marketing materials. That's what I screw up on. That's my read. Why do I always read that wrong?
Don't know.
Vistaprint also has everything, comma. That's what it is.
That comma.
Or a colon.
It needs or a colon.
Colon.
It needs punctuation, doesn't it?
Perhaps it does.
Vistaprint
Mike, I just
Vistaprint also has everything from marketing materials like custom flyers and banners to custom apparel, and all of it is 100% guaranteed. 500 business cards on sale for $9.99. You don't need punctuation for that.
No.
There's never been a better time to professionally promote your business. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code TMOS to get this offer, and we thank you. All right, now without further ado, let's get right to Rob. Do you want to introduce the world to our brand new intern?
Absolutely. We spoke to her last week.
Way to go.
We said, would you like to come in and sit in this week? She said she'd love to. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Noelle.
Nice.
Noelle, yes. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. Tell us something about her, Rob.
She has a tremendous background, not only in creative and visual things, but she has a great computer background. So,
Visual things?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
she
a computer background.
Yeah, computer
'Cause
background.
she knows computers.
She does photography, and she has several of her own websites. She's built websites in the past. So her work is very impressive, and she's
So
also
we
got
could get a
great
digital
photographic-
edge having this person.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. We are
Right.
really looking out to get the most out of her as possible.
All right, so
Mike, may I, if you don't mind?
yes, please.
So,
Please, Jesus, please.
we're lucky enough to have some really great people working on the show, and when we're looking
And
for
I'm here
someone to join the team, whether it's for the summer or for the long haul, or we can't get rid of them, like a guy like Mac, he's
Right.
just here. If we're looking for anybody, we want people to be enthusiastic, just not necessarily about the product, but about creating in general. And as Rob said, yeah, she's got some like web development background, but more importantly, she comes from a world of radio because she hosted her own radio show in college.
Yay!
And
Now that's what I'm talking about right there.
and she just
Fantastic.
graduated, and I think she saw the value of coming here and learning as much as she could from this really small army that we have that really allows you and us for the time to actually teach everybody what we do here.
And all aspects of what we
yeah,
do. We're
absolutely.
not going to be limited to
So
one
who
aspect
interviewed
of it.
Nicole? Who interviewed you? It was Mr. Spiewak
Noelle.
and
Noelle.
Noelle. I'm sorry, keep calling her. Well, you better get used to that, too.
Your new name.
That's
It
right
might be
away.
easier to change your name.
You know what? Let me hold on. I use those little tricks to. Just give me a moment here.
Sure.
There you go.
Okay, I think I'll be able to do it
think
now.
you got it.
I'll be able to do it now. So who interviewed you, Noel? Was it Spiewak and Bloom?
Yeah, all three of them.
I was
and
here as
Oscar.
well.
Oh, you were here?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well,
Oscar left when he interviewed the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when
I
Noel was
tried-
here, he stuck around.
I tried to get out, but then she walked in, and I was like, "Ugh, I gotta stay."
I don't
here.
want to be rude.
I don't want to be rude. Just walk out.
of course.
Yeah.
I
I was packing up, man. I was packing up.
Yep. Don't want to be
Oscar-
rude. Don't want to not wear cologne for
Yeah.
this interview.
Traditionally, Oscar, it's like, okay, it's 1 before 10. Here I am. Sorry I'm late. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Show's over. Oscar's like, there we go. Thanks, guys. All right, see
I've
you
got
next time.
responsibilities, Mike.
So you hung out, and Noel, very nice to have you with us.
Thank
you. I said before the show started, we've got Rofo over in one side. He's been a terrific intern. Our interns, like Katie Cole, they tend to linger in the pipeline for a long time. Even if they're
VIP.
not
Certainly
working.
stay in touch.
Zoolander
not-
and Katie Cole VIPs.
Yes.
Yeah, VIPs,
Yes.
and then we have the second tier,
Top notch.
or maybe the third tier, which would be TJ, who still keeps a relationship like when he
Yeah.
sees us.
He orbits.
But what is
He's like one of the moons.
Does anybody know what TJ's doing now?
He is a CEO of.
He is not.
No, and you know what? One of the hardest things I've ever had to do was write him a letter of
Yeah,
recommendation.
I think TJ works at a software company now.
He was at the Apple store for a while.
Yeah, and he left and now works at a software company.
Yeah, he's been working out a lot. Very sexy.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Do you spend
How do you
time
know
with
this?
I see him occasionally. I
look at
almost
this.
went to a party the other week to see him, but I didn't get out.
Wow, you almost went to a party to see him.
Almost did. I
One of the-
decided to work instead.
One of the nicest guys around.
He's
Very,
cool.
very nice.
Yeah. Really
very
nice.
nice. And also we had Josh Murphy, who was excellent.
Yeah.
He's right in the middle there. He's a strong B+
He's getting his master's, right?
candidate. Yeah, and a music guy.
Yeah, music
So
guy.
Noel, let's talk about you. You are a Northern Virginian. That's where you're from.
Yes.
And you've lived there all your life.
Yeah, I moved there when I was 3 from Bowie, so always been in this area.
Oh, so you've always and Bowie is the home of Kathy Lee Gifford.
Yeah, and the Bowie Bay Sox.
And also,
Yep.
used to
The
have a
Bowie Bay Sox.
Bowie Bay Sox.
great
Used to go to those
racetrack.
games.
Great racetrack out there, Mike, in the old days.
So you've lived here, and you got a degree from is it James Madison?
Yep, James Madison University.
James Madison.
That's where
University.
she had her radio show. Was it called Bedhead Radio?
Bedhead Radio.
It was a morning show, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Started
and-
off at
oh.
8 a.m. first semester.
See, that to me says discipline right there.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
going to be doing a morning show.
Gotta
I was
really
an
like radio.
I was an afternooner when I was at WAMU and I also WMCR Marist College Radio. So it was.
Now, that
it
was when
a
you
lot
did
of
the
fun.
Morning Zoo with Bill O'Reilly, right?
Yeah, Morning Zoo with Bill O'Reilly and 2 Marist brothers, the monks that were up there. And it would start out, well, I'd be more the traditional DJ, and
Right.
Bill was more the news guy. So it would be, good morning, WMCR, the Mike O'Mara Show with the Marist brothers. Let's take a look at news. Yeah, O'Mara, here's the news. And this is the way it's going right now. Look, you're going to do your silly little records, and I'm going to come in here and do the news, and it's going to be fine. And everything's going to be great. It's going to be good. But
Did
anyway,
he have his music back then, or did he just pick that up?
I would really like to point out that Mr. Bill O'Reilly, can we look online and get just once and for all, put this to rest?
His age?
Because this is something that is constantly perpetuated, and I believe I'm thinking at least a 10-year age difference. I am 10 years.
Is he that much younger?
Oh no, I like that one.
Just a joke.
Let's get it on record, Santana. Get it on record just exactly how old Bill O'Reilly
Age
is.
65.
Oh, but a young
10
65.
years older than I am.
Yeah, but he was held back. Allegedly.
Do we have his birth date by any chance? Do we
Yes,
have
he
it?
was born on September 10th, 1949.
Oh,
yeah.
That means that
After
for a while.
D-Day.
Yeah, for a while I'm
by
going
quite
to.
a bit.
Yeah.
Do you realize that for a couple of months he's going to be 9 years older than me? That
Nah.
makes me feel very.
Just a
very
drop in
old.
the bucket, Mike.
Just not.
That's all.
Just a total drop in the
And
bucket.
because you come from such a similar background socially and politically, I mean, 9 years is nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. We're kindred spirits that way. All right, I want to get back to talking to our intern. Nicole, So you are from Northern Virginia. You went to JMU. You joined the Mike O'Mara Show, and every person your age usually has a lot of thoughts about what they see themselves doing in 10 years. So I'll throw that question at you. What do you see yourself doing in 10 years?
I hate that question.
I know you do. That's why I ask it.
Way to kiss up to the boss.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that she's she's giving me that a little bit.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That's a good thing.
10
Make sure she's
years.
not coming back after this.
So June of 2025.
I'd be,
Well, is it radio? Do you have an obviously if you're
Yeah,
here, you
I like
have kind
radio.
of an interest in
I love
performing. that you-
music.
You
Radio's
love
great.
music. Okay. all right.
Don't want to go into something too dying though. It's cool you guys have a podcast, which is a lot better, I would say, than would you guys call it terrestrial radio?
Yes. Look
Yeah.
at that. You picked that up. So
Well-
we have a future here.
Let
Yes.
me just say that terrestrial radio actually 4-star hand, but at the same time, we talk about it all the time. I had a moment yesterday when my friend and former radio partner Kirk McEwen just announced online that he had gotten the afternoon gig at 98 Rock. He's going up to 98 Rock, and Sarah Fleischer, wonderful lady,
Legendary
retiring after a
heritage
very
disc
long
jockey.
career. And Amelia, our friend from 98 Rock, is moving into the midday slot, and Kirk's taking over the afternoons. And I think I expressed my joy to my wife. You know,
that's
saying,
cool.
"Well, they all get gigs. What about me? They all get gigs." That's how I normally do it. You shake your head, but that's the way I behave.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy for him. And then she looked at me. She looked at me. No, I'm not. She looked at me and said, "Well, you would get a radio job if you really wanted it." And then I suddenly, I'm sitting there going, "Oh, that's right." I realized
Because
that
I mean,
said
but
that
that's
too.
what it boils down
I have
to, Mike.
no desire for a radio gig.
But you
I
want to
don't.
be asked.
Well, no, I
Don't
would
you
like
want to be asked?
Well, I've been asked, and I
Mike
don't,
doesn't put out, so they stop asking.
I see.
The thing about it, no,
Tease.
and I say again, I would be very satisfied to have this show in absolutely as is, because we format it for radio.
Precisely.
No one wants that because of the time frame and all these little things. But I don't. The idea of going back and going through the hoops of corporate radio, it doesn't appeal to me. But my friend Kirk, on the other hand, was had a good radio gig down in Tampa, got blown out of that one, and now he's going back to his home, 98 Rock. And for Kirk's sake and his kids and his wife and everybody up there, I hope Kirk has a good long run. I think that is
How long since he's been on 98 Rock? It's been a while, hasn't
a
it?
very, very long time. I swear to God, I think Kirk is the definitive gig for him.
Precisely.
I think he will thrive in
He'll
that
be
gig.
there for years.
I hope he will,
Yeah.
because that's a good home for him. And that whole lineup, we have friends all over that radio station. Spiegel in the morning, and we've got Amelia now in middays and Kirk in the afternoon. So I hope to pay some of those guys a visit when I get up there.
Absolutely.
And,
That'd be cool.
Really, really good stuff for Kirk. But the answer is, this is kind of, as Oscar will tell you, the future, and so many people are doing this. You will notice, Noel, that right away we kind of take it seriously the way we do this. This is a biz for all of us, and we're not in a basement somewhere. We're in a dilapidated building in Washington, D.C. But the fact is, we really, really take this seriously, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Do you see yourself ever doing your own type of podcast at some point?
Definitely. I mean, it seems like a pretty sweet job when you think about it. You're not sitting in a cubicle all day, so that's a start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a start.
Yeah, it is.
So, look, she said definitely. We'll take that as a win.
We will.
All right, that's good.
All right.
That's
Now,
good.
I do have. This is a question that you always throw into an interview, and since Mike, you weren't at the interview, do you have any questions for Mike?
I'm great at being interviewed.
Oh, please.
Maybe come back in like 15 minutes or something.
I think she's intimidated.
No, you know what would be great, Mike, is maybe in 10 years she sees herself asking you a question.
Can I ask this question?
Yes.
You mentioned that intimidation factor, and I don't think that I don't consider myself.
Well, you're like the Wizard of
intimidating.
Oz
Yeah, you
right
are the
now.
great
But
and
I was
powerful
going to
Oz.
ask you about the actual way that the show is done. The guys are used to it because they see me every day on this giant. What is it? A 42-inch screen that we've got in there.
It's 40
isn't it?
It's a 42. No,
It's a
you know what?
40
It is a 47. You're absolutely right. 47.
A 47-inch screen, so it's just like pay no attention.
Now, when you were at the interview and we trying to explain the show to you, and I said Oscar sits there, I sit here, and Mike will be there, you had to have had some sort of mental image of the Great and Powerful Oz appearing. Is this what you imagined, or is it different than what you anticipated?
This is basically exactly what I imagined.
I see. And, and does that make it any more or less weird? Don't look at the screen right now.
Today's a Ustream day.
I never know. Are my eyes are my eyes going in the right direction?
Yes, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Who is this person?
Step forward, Scarecrow.
Well, it's great to have you here. We welcome you, and now, guys, put her to work.
Absolutely.
Get her out there doing everything we need to do, and especially that whole digital thing. That's going to be very exciting. Noelle, we are delighted to have you with us, and we hope for a very long run for you on the Mike O'Meara Show.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. When we come back, more fun and more thrills. You are listening to the Mike O'Meara Show.
Gotta leave, yeah, in the back of the cab. I took the drive ahead of time, get me the fast.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Meara Show. It's time to tell you all about our friends at Stamps.com. Some small businesses still think that an expensive postage meter is the only way to get postage without going to the post office, but they are wrong.
This is incorrect. Wrong.
Thanks to Stamps.com. With Stamps.com, you can easily print postage for any letter or package using just your computer and your printer. It's that easy, and unlike a postage meter, Stamps.com has no hidden fees like meter ink charges or reset fees, no long-term contracts, and no extra hardware to buy. Stamps.com can save you at least 50% compared to a meter. Plus, Stamps.com does things that a meter just can't, like sending tracking info to the recipient with just one click. You love it. The choice is clear. Stamps.com offers you so much more for a fraction of the cost. We've used Stamps.com for years, and you should too. It keeps our DC to Maine pipeline wide open while we save time and money. Stamps.com is the best. Act now for a free, no-risk trial and $110 bonus offer, including a free digital scale that eliminates all the guesswork and up to $55 in free postage. Just go to Stamps.com and click on the microphone and use the code TMOS. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com, and before you do anything else, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in TMOS. Stamps.com and TMOS. Perfect together.
Happy couple right there.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Meara Show. Read an interesting article. I get sent stuff every day. This was about addiction. I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at it, but it was fascinating. It's this guy that apparently has spent a lifetime studying addiction, and he's kind of debunking all the different statements that have been made about addiction. And he makes the statement opening in this article, and I don't have it with me, so I'm just kind of paraphrasing right now. But it was interesting. His theory, unlike right-wing conservatives who think, addiction, you should just toughen up and just kick it and get rid of it, and then the left-wing media and the left-wingers who say this is the substance, the chemicals themselves that get their hooks into you. His theory is that this, like so many other things in society, is totally environmental. That's what it's about.
Really?
And he talks about that in great detail on... you always had substances, say heroin, where they would do experiments on rats, and you would say this rat, died instead of going off of heroin because it just did it more and more and more. Well, they talked about the environments that these rats were in, and they were controlled environments that actually put the rat in a cage. When you would give rats in another experiment a choice of multiple different things like food
or
and
heroin,
the companionship of other rats, they wouldn't be addicted to it. And I got done reading this entire article, and it made a bit of sense to me that when you think about addiction, you have a lot of circumstances. He quotes another one where people that get addicted, you hear about people getting addicted to narcotics in the hospital,
right?
And then they get out of the hospital and they're hooked on opiates, they're hooked on morphine, or they're hooked on. He says that's not statistically, that is really not all that accurate, that the vast majority of people that will go in for a broken hip or some sort of where they will require pain medication, they get out of that environment, and if they're in a loving, nurturing world with loved ones and people and a job and a loving environment, they don't necessarily hop back on it. The people that stay on the drugs in many cases are in a very bad environment. Hence, so many people who are in a poor situation, in a poverty situation, have issues with
What
drug
about-
addiction. It's
Couple
kind of
questions.
interesting to
Couple
read.
questions. Oscar, you had one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just so there is some truth, I think, in that line of thinking. But I also believe that the addictions, some of them are physical and some of them are psychological, right?
Well, there is the physical, and I don't know if this is mentioned in this article or not, but the physical reaction is when an addict or someone who is convinced they're an addict
Yes.
gets their fix.
Yes.
It is not only the fix, but the dopamine that's released by the brain because, oh my God, I'm getting what I want.
Yeah, and
so there is a physical component to it.
Maybe I don't understand this because you see so many different people that whether they're sports stars or they come from really well-to-do families,
Or
that
if they
end
run
up,
our website.
that end up
Thank
end
you.
up with these certain
Thank you.
addictions and end up going to rehabs.
Right.
Do the rehabs assist with that clarity?
He didn't get into the whole rehab deal, but the fact is, it was food for thought because I understand he used gambling as as an example of people can stop with gambling, and it's not necessarily gambling doesn't have a chemical in your body. Gambling is just basically an
But
environmental
gambling
situation.
the thrill of gambling does release dopamine.
It does. And that's
so there is a physical component
absolutely
there.
does.
Well, the chemical in your own body. I'm just saying there's not an outside.
So you win or
chemical.
lose. People always say, "I miss that feeling of losing or even winning," right? But
Just the excitement,
the excitement of it, the thrill.
It's interesting. I just thought, I've thought about it as someone who has had multiple addictions throughout his, including food. I think that it is. I think you're ultimately compensating for other situations. They taught that he uses Vietnam as an example.
Yeah.
That
What's your
and look, I don't
excuse?
know about his statistics. I'm not addicted to heroin.
You've got
Oscar
everything.
Santana.
No, but
but
mine.
I've got everything. I am so
A
sick
beautiful
of that.
wife,
I've
a
got
healthy son.
everything.
But true
I
or
have
false,
got
Mike?
everything.
You've eaten
Us.
more ever since you're back from Vietnam.
That tour, let me tell you.
I know.
Well, what do you think causes addiction? I'll ask you guys. What's
you
your
said
theory?
something, and I don't know if it's mentioned in the article or if it is something that you just sort of looped in. You said if you come out to a loving environment, it almost says to me that it might not be a loving environment as much as it would be a structured environment because you're going to do what you can get away with.
You got to beat your kids.
If you don't have a job, you've got that extra 8 hours a day to go out and try and score something or to go out and gamble. That structure is going to keep you on the straight and narrow. And maybe that is why rich people have the ability to not only, do the rehab, but the practices that make them need to go to rehab, because if they have the money, that they don't need to have the responsibilities of a day to day.
I look at anything like that, and I think that when you do a lot of that, we can deny it all we want. We can say that we don't do it, but ultimately, pure happiness, not having to worry about things, not being concerned about the day-to-day struggles of life. I think everybody's got it. And I think when you talk about why people are going to go to the local barbecue and have 11 beers and get a little silly, I think ultimately everybody is dealing with the same kind of pressures. What I'm talking about is the type of addiction that it grabs hold of you. I still think, this is my theory, not the guy that I wrote, and I'm trying desperately to find this article. It was on Facebook, and then I didn't save it, unfortunately. But I quoted it for the show.
Reputable source.
I will say that I think that there has to be a chemical component. I've known so many people that were addicted to blow in the 80s. And I think
Go 80s.
But also a lot of
Just
people in the
missed out.
entertainment in the entertainment business get addicted to this.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think there's got to be a little bit of a chemical component to it.
It makes sense. I
your
mean,
desperation
especially
to get it back.
And I think there was a turn, and you can sort of draw a line. The first real celebrity wake up was when Belushi died.
Yeah.
And when people said, "Oh my God, this is killing people."
Yeah.
I mean, there was drug deaths before that, but Belushi seems to me to be a big one when you read the history of what goes on. And even since then, when it became almost in vogue to go to rehab and get yourself cured and cleaned up, why does it continue? Why does it go on? And if you doubt that there is a physical component, and he's sitting in the room and we joke about it, but it breaks my heart, when Pony is still smoking. He knows it's bad for him, but he can't quit.
And you can't do
My
lines
father was
off
hopelessly
MP3s.
addicted to nicotine.
you
I'm
know?
sorry, I interrupted
That's
you. What
okay.
did you say,
No,
Oscar?
I was just saying that you can't do lines off MP3s. Like I think the surface area to do blow
That's it,
has
probably.
gotten smaller and smaller. You could do. You had records first, right? You just
Right.
do it off a record.
The vinyl album covers.
And then you'd go to CDs, and still
could do
then,
that, yeah.
you know, you had some surface area to work with. But MP3s, it's all digital now, baby.
Oh, yeah, you can't do much blow off of a thumb drive. What have I always said, Mike?
Things have changed.
The only thing I'm going to agree with this guy. I think all addiction comes from a place of, of trying to cope, with anything. And
Is it coping though, or trying to find something to replace something that you feel is missing in your life, or are they the same thing?
Now, I think it's coping.
Really?
Maybe it might be the same thing. I think it's coping. I
Don't
think you're.
s-
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I agree with you, but don't some people like just experiment when they're young, and they unfortunately have the gene that creates
A lot of
that
people
creates,
say that.
like
A
an
lot of
addiction.
I don't necessarily.
'Cause I-
like alcohol and Irishmen. They've said that about us for years.
I've never heard this. What is this now?
Yeah, right.
Like, so they're just like they try something, and then it just becomes a habit.
Some
then becomes
people
a
take
problem.
to it, some people don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, like I tried certain drugs, but I was so scared of trying certain drugs,
right?
That it was, even if I tried them, it wasn't like I could never do that again, or it wasn't
Right.
something I liked enough to say I got to go back to that.
But also,
Like even shrooms, which are supposed to be all natural, like don't ever do them on Halloween.
I mean,
Not a good
Mike,
time.
the other 364 days go crazy.
Not a
This
good
gets
time.
back to a common theme that I've talked about on the show a little bit, and I think that I'm going to throw this out there. There is plausibility to me that someone getting involved with a substance and then getting hopelessly addicted to it, you get addicted to it when there are no parameters. There is no one either kicking your ass and saying you can't do that, being a parent and saying that, or you are not necessarily, you're coping because maybe you're not getting the right kind of attention that you need. I think that when you talk about those kind of environmental factors, that might be an issue with it, where you've got a tough situation and you feel good. You mentioned the dopamine, and you keep doing something. I think that it's a variety of factors, but I don't think it's all. I don't want to put people down that say I have a disease or something like that, but at the same time, you read this and you say environmentally, you maybe they've had. He cited examples in this article where they actually in other countries, it might have been Portugal, where they had a very, very dramatic change in drug policy. Instead of throwing these guys in and locking them up where they would become addicted to drugs, and then they would get outside and they wouldn't have the support group and they wouldn't have the safety nets, and they continue to do that. This is kind of a liberal way of looking at things. They provided these guys with an environment where they were able to get work and work with a team of people from a similar background, and the addiction rates and the crime because of that went down dramatically. And I think there is something to be said for, why did people get addicted to heroin? Well, they're in Vietnam. Of course, they're going out to possibly get their heads blown off.
Right.
They're going to get into it. Why do they get addicted to drugs in prison? You're terrified. I think it's a state of terror. You're compensating for the terror. But then you get out of that. The same thing can exist in the real world when you're terrified of dealing with that. Maybe that's why Pony smokes so many.
No, could be.
But that might be exactly.
He's
what
giving
it
you a
is.
virtual fist bump, I believe.
There it is. Yes, sir. He's terrified on a daily basis.
The guy's name is Johan Hari. It's a Huffington Post article. I posted it on our
Thank
Facebook
you,
page.
Rofo. You see what I said about him being the #1 seed intern? There we go. He was doing a better job. What's the guy's name again?
Johan Hari.
Can't trust him.
And
Okay, very good.
What's his name?
Johan.
Yo-ho!
Oh, no, that's Yo-ho.
He's done a fair amount of interviews. I can try and get him on the show if you want to talk to him more about it.
I'd love to talk to him about
All right,
that
sounds
because
good.
there's not a person in this room that's not hopelessly addicted to something, and so I think it's a wonderful idea.
But
to,
when you keep talking about environment, and I think environment.
Johan Hari. I'm just still dealing with that name right now.
Let us talk about Portugal.
There we go.
But but environment is in a way structure, and I mean it's as stupid as it sounds. The only things that can happen are things that can happen, and if you put yourself in an environment where something like that can happen.
But it can happen anywhere. You could be at your friend's house and he's like, "Hey, I just found some OxyContin. You want to try it?" Like, it could happen anywhere. It could and it could happen when you're least expecting it. I think you could yell at your kids all you want. And even when I was a kid, I had some really just dynamic friends that I never thought would get into drugs or even try it, and they did.
Right.
And I also had some friends that I thought would have ended up with a life of addiction, and they didn't. I think that your
But
circumstance.
If you say that, and then let's look at someone who's a grown-up.
Yes.
And they're living hand to mouth. They need their job because they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they know that they can probably get by with a couple glasses of wine or a few cigarettes at night. However, if they get blown out on meth and they miss a day of work, they're going to get fired, and they weigh that against the ability of either doing meth or not doing meth. If you associate meth with losing your job, then that is a structure that prevents you from doing it.
Or you could say that the pressure of living paycheck to paycheck and not really having anything to look forward to except for that job and living paycheck to paycheck would push you to say, I need to escape from this.
And it's a difficult cycle, Mike, because if you lose that job, you're not going to have dental, and if you're on meth, you're going to need it.
Let me share with you what Johan Hari writes. Towards the end of his article, he writes, "Loving an addict is really hard. When I looked at addicts I love, I was always tempted to follow the tough love advice doled out by the reality shows like Intervention.
Sure.
Tell the addict to shape up or cut them off. Their message is that an addict who won't stop should be shunned. It's the logic of the drug war." That makes sense. So far, he hasn't said anything that I disagree with. Imported into our private lives. That's true also, in my opinion. But in fact, I learned that doing that will only deepen their addiction, and you may lose them altogether. I came home determined to tie the addicts in my life closer to me than ever, to let them know I love them unconditionally, whether they stop or whether they can't. When I returned from my long journey, I looked at my ex-boyfriend in withdrawal, trembling on my spare bed, and I thought about him differently. For a century now, we've been singing war songs about addicts. It occurred to me as I wiped his brow, we should have been singing love songs to them all along. That, to me, is a very powerful piece.
But if you have an addict destroying your life and the people around you,
I agree.
it's very hard
It's
to
tough.
feel that way. And maybe that guy should look in the mirror and say, what are my choices in life? Why am I choosing these broken people?
And is his point? You know what? If we get the
You
guy
are
on,
so you have no love in your life. You have no love in your life.
I have dated
you
crazy
have no love in
before,
your life.
and I blame myself for it. Like, that is my fault.
Yeah, make sure you ask him that question if we have him on. You can handle that one. Okay?
Oscar, I think you're putting it for, you're making it into his choices. I'm talking about, what if you have a son or a daughter? Let's put it that way.
Yes.
You have a son or a daughter. You have to love them. You're
I can
part of
love
that.
them unconditionally, but I cannot enable them.
You cannot enable them. I don't think
that.
you're supposed to enable them, but I think loving is, it just says when you show a little more love in these situations, maybe you can help them. I'm not making any determinations one way or the other because, to be honest with you, I have not had, thank God, knock on wood, I have
I've
not
seen
had
it
that
firsthand, though.
expression.
I've seen it firsthand recently where you have a family that has loved, enabled, and the same cycle continues.
Yep.
It's the same cycle. Rehab out, rehab out, rehab out, rehab out. That's because they continue to enable.
So Johan is saying that it's the environment can prevent addiction and cure it both. He's saying that this is wow. And it makes
But I don't, but you don't know. I mean, it's just that he talked about. Let me just.
That
the
guy's
last thing on
projecting because he wants his boyfriend to get healthier, and I respect that. That's fine.
That's right.
Okay.
His broken boyfriend, Oscar?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're such a cold man. You are truly a cold man.
Saying.
You really are. Let me read the rap thing again, okay?
Yeah.
'Cause I think I stepped all over that. One of the ways that the theory of being addicted was established was through rat experiments, ones that were injected into the American psyche in the 80s in a famous advertisement by the Partnership for a Drug-Free America. You remember, the experiment is simple. Put a rat in a cage alone with 2 water bottles. One is just water. The other is water laced with heroin or cocaine. Almost every time you run this experiment, the rat will become obsessed with the drugged water and keep coming back for more and more until it kills itself. But in the 1970s, a professor of psychology said that there was something odd about this experiment. The rat is put in the cage all alone. It has nothing to do but take the drugs. What would happen if he wondered if we tried this differently? So he built Rat Park. It is a lush cage where the rats would have
Doswell,
colored...
Mike. It's right by King's Dominion, and they've got a tiny Eiffel Tower.
It's a skate
fun.
park.
That's right. Panda Express, bitches.
It's a lush cage where the rats would have colored balls and the best rat food and tunnels to scamper down plenty of friends, everything rat about town that could want. So what he wanted to do was see what would happen. In Rat Park, all the rats obviously tried both water bottles because they didn't know what was in them, but what happened next was startling. The rats with good lives didn't like the drugged water. They mostly shunned it, consuming less than a quarter of the drugs that the isolated rats used. None of them died. I'm not talking about enabling. I'm talking about perhaps just as a society becoming more compassionate to people that have issues, which we seem to be less and less compassionate.
And once they're healthy, Mike, then we can get our season passes to Rat Park.
Rat Park. That's where Rob and I are going to be hanging out at. So that's a little food for thought for your Tuesday. And if anybody says, hey, what about the funny? I got your Rat Park right here, okay? Right here. Take a look. Try that. Drink out of my water bottle.
Hey, look,
okay?
I see colored balls.
There you go. We'll take a break. Come back with more on the Mike O'Mara Show.
It's Tony and Gary.
Hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tony Perkins.
I will always be Gary Stein.
On this week's episode of the show, we're going to talk about the mistakes people make every day with words and expressions. It's very funny. We're going to be very specific about that.
Yes, we're going to do it in content.
Plus, Sarah Partridge live on this show. Be sure to subscribe to the Tony Perkins Show on iTunes.
What could be better?
The Tony Perkins Show.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. I want to talk about our bonus show packages. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not want us to go to the isolated rat room, please subscribe to our bonus show packages. You really have to take care of yourself, but occasionally treat yourself to the best things in life. You should subscribe to the 2015 TMOS bonus package. It'll make Oscar happy, and as you can tell by the last segment, he needs more love in his life. Show Oscar the love that he needs by getting yourself a bonus show package. Oscar, have people been showing you enough love when it comes to these bonus show packages?
It all depends on what enough is for a certain someone.
And that reminds me, Pony, if you have a chance, you need to fill both of Oscar's water bottles.
Please.
If you get the bonus show, you get full access to all the 2015 bonus content, on-demand video access to every bonus show, access to the entire anthology. That's what some people get it for because you get all of them.
Right.
And that's over a 25% savings. A great way to support your favorite podcast waiting for you at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Click the banner marked TMOS bonus packages. And now you can even pay with a credit card. The TMOS bonus packages because you, my friends, are worth it.
News.
Boo. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I don't normally have a Kanye West, Kim Kardashian story. I normally don't like them at all. I hate them, as a matter of fact, but I'll give one to you right now. You ready?
Yeah, ready to go.
Kanye West. This will make you love him even more, people. He celebrated his 38th birthday in style last night. Kim Kardashian spent $110,000 to rent out the Staples Center so that Kanye and his friends could play basketball.
Oh,
That is so great.
Isn't that nice?
Players included Justin Bieber, Tyga, Pusha T, and actual NBA stars Russell Westbrook and John Wall. Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Carmelo Anthony, Shaquille O'Neal, and Scottie Pippen made videos that played on the Jumbotron. Would those be tribute videos to Kanye?
How
I'm not
nice
sure.
for Kanye.
I'm
That
pretty-
must
I'm-
make him feel 10 feet tall.
Well, just like the Jumbotron. John Sally was the announcer. They had an announcer. Houston Rockets player James Harden and rapper 2 Chainz were the coaches. This is quite a who's who.
It is.
And John Legend sang the national anthem.
For 15 people.
This is too weird. It got creepier and creepier. Oh, see.
You know what? You're right. It's creepy. It is
Yeah.
creepy.
He sang the national anthem and Happy Birthday.
Oh.
Well, I like John Legend. I think that's fantastic.
What's not to like?
Khloe Kardashian and Kylie Jenner were there to watch. Well, isn't that special?
Actually,
Isn't
Chloe
that
was selling souvenirs.
Cotton candy. That's what you.
Delicious.
In a recent interview, Jerry Seinfeld says it doesn't surprise him that comedians like Chris Rock and Larry the Cable Guy don't want to perform at colleges anymore because they're worried about offending students. That's so weird. You think of college campuses as places where anything goes, where it's kind of more open-minded. They're afraid to go there because people are sensitive about the politically incorrect humor. I think that's kind of sad in a way.
It is, and he said he's not playing them anymore. And that's
he
weird
doesn't play them.
Because, if you think of someone, I mean, he's funny, but as far as vanilla,
yeah, I would think Jerry Seinfeld would be super vanilla.
Yeah.
This is Jerry's quote. Here we go. I hear that all the time.
Hey, Jerry,
I don't play
Jerry, are you
colleges.
vanilla?
I'm vanilla, but maybe I just don't play colleges because it doesn't pay as well as my other gigs. It doesn't pay as well as my other gigs.
Hey, why are your teeth so big now? Your teeth and your gums.
That's because I'm getting older and my head is shrinking. A lot of people tell me don't go near colleges. They're so PC. That's politically correct, of course. I don't understand. I don't do Seinfeld.
Damn
I don't
good.
do,
That was
I don't
damn
do
good,
Seinfeld
though.
That was
very
good, especially in the
Damn
upper
good.
register there. I like that.
Yeah, who's going? I'm not going to. Hey, Noel, you came from James Madison University. I'll never do a performance there. Anyway, excuse me. It's been 11 years since Friends ended, but people are still streaming it illegally online. Ooh. Warner Brothers is going after them, according to torrentfreak.com. There's a website I
live
could linger
there.
on. The studio has sent automated fines to alleged pirates over the past few weeks, demanding $20 for downloading, uploading, or sharing episodes of the show using various torrent sites. Basically, the notices say they could go after you for copyright infringement, but they'll let you off the hook if you pay them $20 to settle. So
Now, you know what? I think
they won't get any money.
It's great that they're being reasonable about the $20, but here's what I don't understand. TBS shows Friends about 7 times a day.
Yeah.
They're all available on Netflix, and you can buy them on DVD for a pittance. I know, because I bought it for Oscar.
Appreciate that.
Why do people stream them illegally?
Because people are politically incorrect, Rob.
You know what the problem, Jerry, with the show
That's the
Friends?
problem. I don't understand this.
Jerry, the problem with the show Friends, it was so vanilla.
It was very vanilla, and it came on after. Was it after mine or before mine?
Before
I forget.
yours, before
it was
yours.
before mine.
Yeah, Thursday
Wow,
night
that makes them really, really old.
Oh, I thought
actually,
you meant before
we were
in the
we
lineup.
we were older when we did the show, so I guess it's a push. I guess it's a push. Elton John. Let's talk about Elton John. He freaked out on an usher during a recent concert in the UK because she was telling fans they couldn't wave their hands in the air. He said, quote, I came here to play music. Now all you stewards down there, especially the women in the ponytail.
Stewards!
Effing lighten up. Effing lighten up, will you? This is not effing China, so piss off. You got an effing uniform on and you think you're Hitler, and you're not. I don't have any sympathy with her. This is a concert. And apparently the usher started crying and ran away.
Oh, I think it's nice that he called them stewards, though.
That's the English
It
name.
is.
Stewards.
You stewards.
Steward, is this my seat? Hello, Steward. Well, she ran off crying, and Elton felt bad, so he apologized. First, he said he realized the ushers were just doing what they were told. Then he brought the usher up on stage. I watched the video of this.
Oh, cool.
It was all very Elton. He sat next to her, and she sat on his piano stool.
Oh.
And he told her, quote, I got frustrated. No one should ever talk to a lady like that. I'm very, very apologetic. Now on with the show, Elton.
That's, very good, especially since the guy can't sing anymore. Anything to fill up the 2 hours.
Sparkly suits for everyone. The world's first ever orgy for disabled people is going down on August 14th in Toronto. Well, we have to send Mac.
Yes, and he'll get in.
Mac the intern.
We've got
right?
time.
I think. Would he count, or would you have to be like have some sort of infirmity
I
where you're
don't
not
think,
able
Mike,
to
anyone,
as a
no
reporter.
one would bat an eye.
Yeah.
This I say
They
this
have lots of
because
ramps you could just walk up.
it caught my eye, but you know what? This is a nice story. I like
Okay.
it at the end of it. All you need to do is get in and get it on, and it's $20 and a disability to get, you in the door.
Get it on.
That's right.
Get in and get it on. A 35-year-old woman named Stella Palakarova is organizing it. She's calling the event Deliciously Disabled. She's in a wheelchair because of a spinal condition. She still says she has... Wait a minute, Pony. Hold on. She still says she has her sex drive, and she says that surprises people. So she's putting together the event to raise awareness that disabled people like sex, too.
That's good. That's a great
excellent.
message.
Good message.
The orgy will be open to 125 people. It costs $20 to get in, but people can bring a support worker, or if they're deaf, they can bring an interpreter for free.
That'd be
the
good.
support worker, Those are going to be, I think those are the guys you're going to want to look out for.
And you want to get there, Mike, you want to get there early because there's 5 parking spots that are going to fill up really fast.
Such a day.
He is a soulless man. One of the people helping... One of the people helping her organize it is a 31-year-old guy named Andrew Morrison Gurza. He says disabled people sometimes have to get creative when they have sex, and this is a fantastic opportunity for that. Quote, a wheelchair can become just one big sex toy.
Hey.
What do you think of that? Huh?
Wow.
Am I right, fellas? Anyway, and now a
Mr.
little something.
Potter.
Mr. Potter. Yeah, wheel me up. You know what, George? Why, you're making me so horny. Anyway. Should you run a background check on your dog walker? Remember we mentioned that earlier in the show? A woman named Morgan Bogle in New York City hired a 46-year-old guy named Tommy Dorr to walk her dog Sugar this year. Well, Tommy took Sugar out on February 23rd, but didn't bring her home. He claimed he had a psychotic episode and couldn't remember what happened, but Morgan investigated, and she thinks Tommy sold her dog for drugs.
Oh.
Specifically some PCP. She's been trying to spread the word ever since to get her dog back, but she hasn't had any luck.
PCP, wow.
Long time. She hasn't had any luck, even after she offered $10,000. She just filed a lawsuit against Tommy, wants a judge to order him to get her dog back or pay $10,000. No arrests were ever made. I don't need any drugs, but I'd be willing to trade Frankie for a bottle of 12-year-old Jameson's. If anybody's We will take a break, come back with Rob Spiewak and the Magic Audio Vault right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Americast is back. New studio, new sound, stereophonic, Technicolor, all around more Mermelstein. Every Monday, download it from iTunes or from the TMOS app. Just 2 clicks, and you can be caught up with more. Sponsored in part by, do you enjoy water sports, but the sea doesn't agree? Try Captain Jack, attorney at law.
I don't know what kind of drugs he's doing, but those are strange promos.
Yeah, and you know what, though? I listened to the return episode of Americast. His studio sounds fantastic.
It does?
Really great
Awesome.
job.
Great for him.
Good job.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Man Greats. Father's Day just around the corner, June 21st, almost here.
Yes.
And guess what? You haven't done anything for dear old dad, have you? You're going to give him a tie? You're going to go get him some kind of ridiculous tool at the hardware store? Why don't you get him a Man Grate? Get him Man Grates. Everybody loves Man Grates. They turn any barbecue into the ultimate grilling machine. We've all used Man Grates. We love it. We not only have we used Man Grates, but we've had shows centered around the Man Grate.
Based on them, yes.
Because it's that good. I like grills. I like looking at them at hardware stores and Home Depots, and I look at, and most of the grills that you see have flimsy, wimpy, nasty little wire grates. A Man Grate is 100% cast iron, and it'll make your grill something special. And you get 40% off all cast iron grates and premium brushes at mangrate.com. When you use our code TMOS, he'll be so proud of you. And he gets the brush, the best grill brush in the biz.
Yeah, you know what? My dad likes to use the brush to sing karaoke. Sings right into it.
It's wonderful. Don't forget the brush. Order by Monday, June 15th for guaranteed arrival by Father's Day anywhere in the United States. That's mangrate.com and the TMOS code. Make it the tastiest Father's Day ever. And now, without further ado, let's open up the audio vault for today, Tuesday, June 9, 2015, Catherine Mary O'Mara's birthday. Rob Spiewak, take it away.
Catherine Mary O'Mara still asleep.
Still sleeping. Went right back to sleep. Absolutely.
Have you ever gone so far as to compile a bucket list?
No.
No, I haven't either, and I gave it some thought because a 90-year-old man put together his bucket list, and I don't know why, but he said one of the things he always wanted to do was back a car through a garage door. And so his family...
See, I don't need that on my bucket list because I've done it and not done it intentionally, but I have done that before.
I've known people who have done it, but this guy, after 90 years, never did it. His family made it possible for him. I think he was in some sort of sport crossover.
Cool.
And they put a helmet on him, and they videotaped it. The sound is pretty good.
One, two, three.
He talks about it here.
Yes, squealed the tires and bang, we went through the door. It was thrilling to get to do it after all these years,
Oh,
which I
God
never
bless
thought
him.
would ever happen.
And one thing that's so great,
So
I would
cool.
think they would have him on the driveway going into the garage.
Right.
But he's backing out of the garage, so he's laying tire inside of the garage.
1, 2, 3.
He did it all the way.
He broke out like an action film.
Yeah, so good for him.
That's
But
awesome.
Rob, I would tell you that when you back, I think most of the garage doors have been tanked because you're in the garage
Well,
and
yeah,
you forget that
but I
it's
think
not
that
up.
it would be safer to go in than out.
Oh, who cares about safety? He's
Sure, the man's wearing a helmet.
almost
Speaking
warm
of
food anyway.
breaking out, yeah, just can't chew, that's all. Speaking of breaking out, I didn't know if it was a coincidence or not that after the prison break in New York over the weekend, last night, American Movie Classics showed The Shawshank Redemption.
Really?
Of course, they show it about every third day.
They do.
So
They do.
it probably was a coincidence. But Conan had Tim Robbins on last night.
Oh,
and had
wow.
a very interesting question from him about it. Was he contacted for interviews and insight based on this, what everyone is calling a Shawshank Redemption, like
Right.
Prison Break?
Do you get calls? Are they calling? Is the media calling you and saying, "Will you comment on the big escape in upstate New York"?
Actually, those two guys called me about a month ago. And, what's your advice on this? I said, alternate clothing.
Yeah, that's right.
I did get a few calls, and I kind of just, for me, it's a different story.
Right.
Andy was innocent.
Right. Right.
Yep,
There's no other
absolutely.
parallel.
Yeah,
And then I heard that people were like, "We got to call Tim Robbins and get his take on this." What are you talking about?
Yeah, like, okay, that was a movie. This is real life.
Right.
Another guy.
It's like calling Leo DiCaprio every time a boat sinks.
But good booking for Conan. And that's funny that he actually is getting calls to get his opinion on it.
The thing about that and watching more, there's a guy 2 days ago comes on the news and says, I don't think guards would be involved. Then you see today that they show what that saw that cuts through the metal
Yes.
sounds like, and you say it has to be a guard in on that. That
Of
had to
course.
make an amazing noise.
What they did is they tipped the guard off 40 packs of cigarettes for him to play his boombox so that no one could hear it.
They're bad hombres, too. I hope they catch those
yeah.
guys. They
It
sound like
makes
real scary dudes.
If I was in that neighborhood, I'd be a little nervous. I'd be
Yeah,
nervous.
very, very scary.
Mike, did you know, were you cognizant of the fact that Dunkin' Donuts were founded in Boston, Massachusetts?
It doesn't surprise me. You can't, you can't spit and not hit one around here.
That's why they all taste, and that's the place, Mike, where all the donuts taste like Noxzema. And they've made a promotional film with two athletes that are Boston area athletes. One, Rob Gronkowski, and I know you know and love
Gronkowski.
Gronkowski, and
Yeah.
I know you know
Gronk.
and love David Ortiz.
David Ortiz, Big Poppy.
And they
That's
made a music video about iced coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. And somehow I find it oddly catchy.
Summertime, super nice. Everything better with Donkey Nice.
Seen it.
Sipping on Donkey Nice coffee. Summertime.
So they're like walking around a mansion, riding a tandem bicycle. It's very odd.
Good timing for that story. Now the Red Sox swept the Oakland A's over the weekend. I will tell you, the rest of the season, if you'd played that for me, I would have said, yeah, maybe they ought to spend more time thinking about winning baseball games. Thank you very much.
Taking October off and sipping on ice.
Sipping on ice. Yes, Big Poppy. Bueno. bueno.
Coming up, everyone says there's nothing to watch on TV this summer, and I present for your approval from the Sci-Fi Network, Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no!
They say the biggest blockbusters come in threes. So naturally, it's our turn.
Not again.
Sharknado 3.
Oh, hell no!
Oh, hell yes.
What does it say about me? I will be there.
Tomorrow on the show, I do want to speak to Oscar about he's trying to sell me on Daredevil, and I want to have a little moment set aside because I want to hear more about it because I'm ready. I'm wide open. I'm ready to be entertained, Oscar Santana.
And speaking of which, television on The Bachelorette last night, Clint versus JJ, they fought and Clint got sent home. So whether or not they were lovers, we will never know.
Travesty.
We will never know.
Thank you, by the way. I didn't know you were looking in.
Yeah, well, I'm following it for you. We're very into the
Appreciate
story.
it. Thank
Mike,
you.
you're such a great mimic of voice, and you do a couple object impressions. I know you do crickets that are great, the cricket under the paper. This one... This one really I like. This is a guy who does an impression of a saxophone. And I want you to listen to it. I was really impressed.
I don't need a saxophone. To play the saxophone. No, honestly,
And I thought, that's great. Either he's talented or he has pneumonia. But that is your Magic Audio Vault.
Wow.
Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
Buddy, get us out of here. That's it. Another Mike O'Mara show has come and gone. Be sure to join us again for more fun and more thrills at MikeO'MaraShow.com. If you want to correspond with us, send a letter or package to TMOS Box 2796, Leesburg, Virginia 20177 to get your message or birthday request into the Wednesday mailbag. Hey, everybody, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Get him in late tonight.
Rob with 2 B's at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Our show relies on word of mouth. Tell a friend or family member about TMOS and make sure they get it too. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, this is Mike O'Mara inviting you to join us again for another episode of the Mike O'Mara Show. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Wait, don't go. I need to tell you that MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon is perfect for all your online shopping needs. Shop the best way. Shop Amazon. And please go through our website, always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.